Okay, sometimes we're given a line and we want to find the slope graphically just by analyzing the graph. So we'll give you a couple of examples of these. And what you do is you try to find a couple points that you can identify that are on the line. So if we look at this line over here, this is my line, and we try to find some points that it goes through nice and clean. So it looks like it's above the line there. It's definitely not going through a point at that. We try to find it where there's actually a value of x. So -4 is not a clean point, but it looks like it goes through a pretty clean point right here at -3. So it looks like it goes through the point -3, 1. So I'll put a little dot there. I'll emphasize that. And then where do I find the next point? Well, this is a little bit high. It's almost there, but it's a little bit above that. So you kind of have to be real careful and look close, but it's a little bit above. It's not quite going through the line, but it looks like it's going right through here. So I'll put a point there. So what I want to do is now, how am I going to get from this point to that point? And then I can figure out what the slope is. So it's going to be the rise over the run. So I'll go the vertical change first, then the horizontal change. And we always go from left to right. So it's consistent. So as we go from left to right, if the line is going uphill, the slope is positive. If it's going downhill, like this one, it's negative. So we always go from left to right. So my bottom number is always positive. My top number, that's the change in y, is either positive or negative. In this case, in order to go here, I'm going to go straight up 1, 2 units. So I got to go up 2. So that's a positive 2 because I'm going up. And I go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going up 2 over 7. And I can draw a triangle like this with the sides. And that's my vertical change and my horizontal change. My horizontal change will always be positive. My vertical change will either be positive going up or negative going down. So in this case, the slope is going to be positive 2 over 7. And you can see how it kind of works because it looks like it's going to be up 2 over 7. Positive 2 over 7. And it's like a fraction. See, up 2 over 7, positive 2 over 7 over 7. So that's the slope. Okay? Now if we take a look at this line over here, we want to find a couple of good points. And it kind of misses here, but it looks like, and you have to look kind of close on your graph, but it looks like it's going right through this point here. And at 1, so it looks like it's going through the point 1, 2. So like I said, we should be able to identify this point, these points. This is point -3, 1, and this is a point 4, 3. And you could actually put those in your slope formula and work it out like that, but we should be able to kind of analyze it graphically without having to use the slope formula. So where's my next point? Well, it doesn't go through. It looks like it's a little above over at 2. It's not going right through. At 3, definitely not. At 4, it's a little bit below. And at 5, it looks like it's going right through the point. So it looks like I got a good point there at 5. Now you might say, well, if I tried this, no, that would be all right. We wouldn't mark that wrong because that's pretty close. All right? So if we have you do these on problems, we'll try to make sure they're pretty obvious. Not too close like this, because you could use this point actually. It's real close. This is a little bit better. All right. So how do I get from this point to this point? Well, first of all, I do my vertical change, and since I'm going down, it's going to be negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like I'm going down 7. So that'd be negative 7, and it looks like I'm going over 1, 2, 3, 4. So over 4. So it looks like that slope would be the vertical change, down 7 or negative 7 over 4. You see, so I'm going down 7 over 4 to get from this point to that point. Vertical change first, up or down. Here I'm going up 2 over 7. Here I'm going down 7 over 4. There's your slope, negative 7 over 4. The bottom number will always be positive as long as we're moving from left to right. So it's the top number that will either be positive or negative. That's going to determine the sign of your slope. Okay? So you just have to mark those 2 points and then you can go to town. Okay, so that's how to find the slope from a graph, or find the slope.